can you explain what the Safe Havens does as a charity? So everybody knows Pillow Partners. That is our property management company. But I always use, since we started in 2016 formally, and for 10 years before that, I wanted to use the properties that we have for good. So I set up Pillow Safe Havens, now has a board of trustees and a really passionate team behind it. But Safe Havens is our registered charity. If you've ever tried to set up a charity, it is not easy. You need to be regulated, you need to be accountable, so you can't just set a charity up and start raising money. So for me, it was important. We always gifted our properties to charity. We gave it to people that needed it. Females that flee in domestic violence, always gifted time in our properties to children with leukemia, these types of things. But we wanted to formalise it with a charity so that we were held accountable. So Safe Havens is our charity. It means we can legally and ethically raise money from guests and hosts and anybody that wants to donate. So lots of things around that. Pillow Safe Havens, we want to provide funded stays for those in communities that need it the most. Now, we do lots of other things above and beyond that, but one of the big mission statements for us is providing funded nights in property. Our first target here is 10,000 nights a year that we want to redistribute to those that need it. Now, our charity here exists simply to give to other charities and good causes. There are drives and things that we do as a charity that we feel is important and causes we want to help. But essentially what we want is all our hosts across the UK, all our franchise partners, all our guests to drive where those charity donations go. So Safe Havens is our charity. We want to do things like collect food to give to food banks. We want to collect clothes. We're excitingly setting up a brand new super HQ for Pillow Safe Havens, where people can drop stuff off, lots of books and games. We will give them to poverty families. We're going to have our own food bank that people can drop off non-perishables. So Safe Havens is our charity for hosts and guests, third parties, and all the team fundraising here at Pillow. So hopefully some more questions will come in, and I'll try and chunk it about the questions so that I don't jump ahead. Next question, same question. How much money goes to running costs? And that is a great question, and something I'm super proud of is that 100% of your money goes to the charity. I'm in a really fortunate position, having built Pillow over 17, 18 years now. We're in a position that the resources we have, I think we've got 40 staff members and a team all over the UK, and accounts people and marketing people. Grace behind the scenes here also does all the marketing and social media for the Safe Havens side of things, runs the social media accounts, the team build the web pages. So every single penny that you donate, guys, goes to the charity. I don't know if we're the only charity in the UK that does that, but we have zero operating costs. That's right, zero. Why? Well, it gets funded. The team volunteer their time. Check the social media. We're all out at delivering food for food banks. So the cost to run all the accountancy, there's no wages, there's no employees, nobody makes money out of this. If you donate £100, £100 goes to that. So the marketing team, I pay their wages, and that just some of that gets absorbed on the work that they do with the charity, the office costs, absolutely everything. So great question. Zero operating costs, and 100% of your money goes to a charity, guys. I might be wrong, but I think we're the only charity that does that. So super, super proud of that. The next question, what type of causes do you support? Well, we are pretty broad about that. And it was a hard decision. Do we support a certain amount of causes? So some great charities, if I take the example of Callum's Cabin, they're very, very clear. They are providing stays for children with cancer, etc. So they're very, very clear on their mission statement. For us, we want to be as broad as possible. So what type of causes? Well, some of the criteria I like to have for the charities we support, we're not going to be giving money to these big international ones, and we're not going to be helping causes that may be close to your heart, guys, but there ain't there ain't directors running about in Mercedes with 160 grand salaries. I'm never funding that. That's never going to happen with Pillow. We wanted to go to the grassroots community ones. So for us, and I'll cover the exact causes that we love to support, but the criteria for us, we want to support small charities and communities that may not get the big money. If we give £1,000 to a charity locally in the community run by passionate volunteers, that's a world of difference. That saves lives. If I give 100 grand to some of these big charities, it goes to warlords. The food never gets to these villages. And again, they're all corrupt. They're all get big, massive salaries. And the money does not go to where you believe it is. And some of the fundraising, like 80% cost of fundraising goes to the guys on the streets. It's a business. Fundraising is a business. So for us, we do it, one, for charities where we can see the impact. Secondly, our job is a support organisation, not just charity, but support, is to raise the awareness of the charities. So cancer and overseas aid doesn't need awareness because they have unlimited budgets of you and money to spend in marketing and advertising and fundraising. We want to give to a charity that we can then put into other people's awareness, so that they don't just get our donation or time or money, but also that gives them other funding streams as well. So our criteria: local, small charities that don't get any big exposure, and then we can use our platform, the Pillow platform, alongside the Safe Havens platform, to get awareness, raise more funds from more people, and then our tiny donation of a few £1,000s or whatever that is eclipsed by the good that does, with Grace behind the scenes sharing these stories on social media, sharing that charity's website with our links, putting it on our social media and newsletters. And again, we're just 10xing the amount of visibility that a small charity doesn't have, and they can leverage our team here. What do we do? Well, we've mentioned domestic violence. We support homelessness. We don't put homeless people in our properties, but if we raffled off a night in a luxury place and raised £1,000, well, that can buy 50 sleeping bags. I don't know. We can feed homeless people, but we don't need to give the properties. We just raffle them off to other charities, and the homeless charity can then raise that money. Children's end of life memories, if they've got cancer or leukemia, these types of things, and don't like saying the cause of support. It's quite sad, but it does massive good. Some women escaping domestic violence. Mental health is a big one as well. Teenage suicide prevention, taking people that have young kids that have tried to commit suicide, they don't want to leave the hospital or wherever to go back to that house, so we can give them a week in some of our properties, and our hosts are super generous to facilitate that, as I guess, and the team here that donate their time. So we're not stuck with causes. We'll do loads of stuff helping dog charities, and if you saw the social media, we were raising stuff and paying extra money for cases to take, which we paid for ourselves, to take children and dog stuff over to Cape Verde to help the stray dogs and the children in need over there. So pretty much anything we will support. There's things we want to stay away from, like politics and religion and these big corrupt charities with lots of costs. But again, we are open to anything, and you guys can nominate even local community heroes that deserve something for working unrecognised for decades. So a long list there. How can I get involved? Well, good question. We're going to try and chunk this down very easily. You can scan the QR codes in any of our properties. It takes you through to your phone. I do this at training. If you scan a QR code of mine with a Apple Pay, you're literally making a donation in less than 60 seconds. It's that easy. Scan, boom, click your amount, donate via Apple Pay, and it's processed via Apple Pay in seconds. I don't know about other phones, but I would assume the similar. So you can scan, make actual donations. You can make donations at a high level to Pillow Safe Havens in the UK or your local area. You can stay at one of our properties and leave food for food banks. Other companies will charge you and take your deposit for leaving tins and stuff, and use any excuse to get a little bit of your deposit money. We want you to leave that. We collect that and donate that to local food banks, homeless charities, etc. Next, you can drop stuff off at any of our centres, any of our regional places. we would then redistribute things like games. We did a big drive for selection boxes to give to low-income families. Then we gave them to the local authority. They wrapped them up and delivered them to families. As simple as that. So you can do that. If you're a host, you can donate time in your property. We call it a pillow pledge. 3-7 nights a year. Off peak when you're empty, we will then, using our tech platform and our facilities, we'll then put that on. We can auction it off, we can raffle it off, and give it to third-party charities for them to do it, or we can pick the causes that are nominated via our charity.pillowpartners.com website. So lots of things you can do. You can donate not just money, but time. You can support the causes here. The team are always out. We give them time off the actual employed time to go and donate their physical efforts to some charities. That's packing boxes for food banks, etc. Lots of ways that you can get involved, and just helping sharing our social media content. You don't need to donate money. There's many other things you can do. You can come up with fundraising ideas. The team, we've just signed up for the Kilt Walk again this year, 26 miles of excruciating pain for 8 hours to raise money. I think the last time we did that, we raised over £4,000 just for walking for a day. So the team will do that. So our fundraising activities, you could sponsor, you could get involved, or you could run your own. Next one. Are there any causes you won't support? Generally, no, we want to help as many as possible. I did say if it's super big organisations, well, that's not the best use of our resources. We have supported the big companies and charities. Again, I'm very clear about this. I think they're all these big multi-million pound international ones, all corrupt. We're not giving money to them doing 160 grand charity, doing the job I do and getting 160 grand for it. I get that's a full-time role for them, but we can't fund those wages. We can't look at a charity's books and say, well, there's £10 million a year in running costs. So we could give that to local grassroots charities and communities. We don't want to be doing anything to get involved in controversial topics like religion, or we're not going to be religion, politics. If you've got a political party that you want to raise money for, that's not who we do. We help communities here. Again, if somebody wanted to, one of the local wars, they wanted to raise money for arms and weapons to fund a war, we're just not going to get involved in funding anything that goes towards killing children in other countries. And that sounds crazy because they essentially, the causes they support, would you want to support this cause? We're not going to support wars in any form, guys. It's the opposite of who we are. And by the way, it's the opposite of who you should be as a decent member of society. So anything there that might be offensive, anything that's going to fund wars or been detrimental, and it would shock you how many people ask us to donate to things that are going to just kill overseas kids. So it's a very hot topic. I want to support the communities locally that makes a difference. Whereas that small, even a £50 donation or a big box of food actually save lives. You know, 30, 40 quid could get nothing if it goes overseas. Never going to see it. But if we helped someone, a little teenager, get a counselling session, it's 30 quid, that could save their life. So that's who we do want to support, not who we don't. Guys, thank you for watching this content. It means a lot, not just for Pillow Partners, the business, but our associated charity, Pillow Safe Havens. Every like, every comment, every share really, really matters. Subscribe to Pillow, follow us, but also to Pillow Safe Havens and all our other websites. It really, really will make a difference in the communities where we manage properties.